Okay, so for our Dali persistence of memory, the first thing we're going to start out with is our paper. It's going to be in landscape orientation, so it's going to be long. Okay, and then I'm going to start out with my colored pencils. So I have various shades of earth tones. So those of you that did the color star with me, we learned that there's different earth tones. So I have this like bright yellow, kind of a mustard yellow color, a reddish brown, and a dark brown. So I'm going to start out with my, I'm going to start out with my reddish brown. Okay. All right, and the first thing I see, the main line here is the horizon line, and the horizon line is the line that parts the sky and the land. So about a quarter down, you can go ahead and use your pencil and draw a line going across from one side to the next. Okay, and then the next shape, the main shape I see is the, it's like a pedestal, so it looks like a cube. So just below that, kind of halfway down, you can put a little mark, and then I want you to hop over to the side, put another mark, and now we can connect these two dots. So this is the top edge of my pedestal. And then I'm going to do a strong diagonal line going from the end of this straight line down until it touches the bottom left corner of the paper. So you can put a planting dot if you want near the bottom. And then you're going to do a strong diagonal line going down until it connects. Okay, great. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to create the illusion. So we're going to create the appearance of it being 3D. So I want you to go from this angled line, this point, I want you to do a vertical straight line going down. And you can end it almost a quarter up from the bottom. And then we can do another straight line, which is going at a diagonal down until it goes off the side of the paper. Okay, awesome. So after we've created these strong straight lines, now we are going to go in and create some curved lines. So in the piece there is a tree that's on top of this stand here. So you can go ahead and switch over to your dark brown color. I have, this one right here, dark brown. And from the top of the paper, I want you to just go ahead and do a curved line curving down. It's going to go on top of my horizon line because it's in front of the horizon. And it's curving down until it touches the top of my pedestal. So we have two different types of lines here. We have really straight, these are called geometric lines. And then we have very organic lines. Yes?
What are you drawing?
Oh, you guys didn't see. Let me show you again what it looks like. So this is our piece here. It's called The Persistence of Memory. And it is a kind of dream-like piece. So with these melting clocks. So right now we are doing the tree over here. Okay? And I'll keep pulling the picture up so you guys can see. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is you're going to leave a little bit of space, and over to the right you're going to do another curved line curving down. This is the other side of the tree. And then you can connect these lines with a curved line. So this is like the roots of the tree trunk. Okay, from this tree we are going to do a branch, and the branch is where we have the clock hanging off the side. So from the horizon line, you're going to go just above the horizon line, okay? And you're going to do a curved line curving over to the right. So this is part of the tree branch. Then you're going to do another curved line curving over until it connects. And then I'm going to make it a little bit more thick down here, because you know trees usually the branch is bigger closer to the tree trunk, and then it gets skinnier as it goes out. So that's our tree. Now we're going to have some time later on to color this in, but for now the last step we're going to do is this little curve at the top, and then it curves all the way around. So it looks like the tree is kind of like hollow at the top. So that's another way that we can make it look 3D. And then when we get into shading, I'll show you guys how we can make it really pop and come out against the background. Okay, so the next area that we have that is made up of organic lines are the cliffs. So in the background of the piece there's a bunch of cliffs. So on the right side of your paper, right above the horizon line, you're going to do some really sharp lines going all the way until it touches the horizon line. So this is like the cliff side. It looks a little bit like if you've ever been to Torrey Pines State Park, you know, gone hiking there. So those really sharp rocks going along the top of the cliff. Now to break up this big area, because it looks kind of flat right now, we want to make it look more 3D. We can create more jagged lines coming in. So leave a little bit of space from this top of this cliff, and then you're going to do another kind of jagged line coming down until it touches the horizon line. And you can just keep layering those jagged lines to create more texture of the sharp rocks. Good? Alright, cool. Okay, everyone ready for the next step? Yeah? Okay, cool. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is start to do those melting clocks. So let me show you once again what it looks like so you can see. Alright, so we have our horizon line right here. We have our cliffs. We have our tree, our pedestal, and now we're going to add the next layer of texture, which is going to be the melted clocks. So we're going to do one that's hanging off the tree, and then there's another one on the side of the pedestal, and there's this weird like animal looking thing that's sleeping in the middle of the piece. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like something you would see in a dream. So we can go ahead and grab our bright yellow. So this is kind of like a yellow-orange. And I'm going to use this. The first one I'm going to do is the one on the pedestal here. So what we can do to make it look like it's really melted is we're going to start out with a curved line curving over to the left. So that would be the top of the clock. And then on the top line, it's going to start curving down and really becomes wavy lines. And then you're going to drag it back up and create this really funny looking like melted clock. And the line is a little bit more thick, so to make it look more thick, we're going to do another line just around it. So this is called going parallel line. So it's falling right next to our line and it's not touching, it's just getting really close to it. And then you can go ahead and fill that in. Okay, so for the top of the clock, it looks like a stopwatch almost, so it has this big button at the top, so you can do a curved line at the top here, fill it in, and then we know in our clock we have the arms of the clock, so we have the hour and the minute hand. So for that, I want you to do a circle that's going to be right on the edge of our pedestal there. And then you're going to do a straight line going out towards the left, really strong straight line, and you can do an arrow at the end, so we know it's the arm of the clock. Then you're going to do another straight line going down, and do another arrow, so another angled line. Let me zoom in so you guys can see a little closer here. There. Alright, so for our clock, we also want to have some numbers. So I'm going to do this with a darker color. I'm going to use the dark brown. So it might be a little easier if you kind of tilt your paper a little bit. And then we know at the very top of our clock we have 12. So 12 is 1 and 2, numbers 1 and 2. And then you're just going to keep going around. 1, 2, 3, and you can rotate it back. The 4 is going to be here on the inside of that yellow outline. 5, 6 fits in this little area down here. And then 7. We actually don't have any other numbers here that I see from the original, so let me zoom in to show you again. There. So we just are starting to number our clock. Okay, so the next clock that we have is hanging off the side of this tree here. And it's actually kind of like a silver color. So if you have silver colored pencil, you can use that. If you don't have silver, you can even use your normal pencil because the lead looks a little bit like silver. So go ahead and grab a gray or silver colored pencil. And then we can do another melted clock off the side of this branch. So from here, I want you to start out by just putting a little dot and then leave some space. You're going to do another dot. That way you know how wide it's going to be. Zoom in for you there. Okay. And then from there, we're going to connect the dots by doing a big wavy line. So you're going to do a curved line, curving around, and coming back up until it connects. So right now it's a very thin line, so what we want to do is make it more bold, kind of like our key pairing lesson on Tuesday, so a really bold line. Bring it around. And then we have the back side of the clock. It almost makes me think of like a pizza, like a pizza pie. And so you're going to do a curved line. From here, you want to curve to connect these two marks. And then you're going to curve around, and this is where we get that illusion, the surrealism. So it looks real in that it looks almost 3D. Okay, and then this is the back side of the clock, so you can start to fill this curved line in with your silver or your gray. And then you can also do a little curved line for the button. Fill that in as well. So this clock is going to be, let's see, the hands of the clock kind of run straight down through the middle. And they look like they're melting, like almost like if you were to fry an egg on the ground. You know, it's really hot right now. Like you could probably do that right now. It's super hot outside. So you can do a straight line, and then it becomes an arrow. And then I am going to go back to my other colored pencil, my darker one, to add the numbers. So the number on here that we start with is the number 3. And then you can just keep working your way down. The 6 is again going to end up in the bottom. 4, 5, 6. And then we don't even really see the other side. You can do just like a little bit of a 7 and a little bit of an 8. It's kind of melted out of the picture. Let me zoom in for you guys. So it's really cool to think about, you know, I have kept a dream journal in the past, so anytime I like had some really memorable dreams, I would write it down. You know, right when you wake up, you can remember them more easily. And your dreams can tell you things about yourself that you don't know. A lot of the times your dreams are like when you are working through things that may be difficult or scary or exciting. So it's really cool to see what things come up in your dreams. So, you know, your dreams can have so many different symbols and can have so many different meanings. So this is cool to see what someone else's dreams were like. So the last big subject that we see is this character here in the middle, and I'll share the screen again with you so you can see it. So it almost looks like a blend of, I don't know, like makes me think of the color of a pig, but the shape of I don't know, like a dog or some sort of animal sleeping there. It looks like a big eye with eyelashes. You guys see that there? So yeah, a really strange mixture of different animals and different things. So what you can do now is, let's see, if you have a peach color, that's great. A peach or like a light pink, we can use that for this piece. Okay. So right here in the middle of the piece, you're just going to start to do your big curve for your creature. And if you wanted to come up with your own creature, you could too. You know, it could be something that's very strange looking. So I have this big curve line. Let me do it darker for you guys to see. Yeah. Oop. There, that should be a little bit easier to see. So big curve line curving around. Right here. And then we have a curved line here. It almost looks like a nose or an ear of some sort. And then, yeah, it's just this funny blob. So just keep doing these curved lines, curving up and down. And then the end kind of goes off into the distance. two curved lines, almost like a tail. And then it has this funny, yeah, it has like eyelashes. So I'm gonna go back to my brown, my reddish brown. I never noticed this before until I looked really closely. That's the cool thing about looking at a piece of art for a long time. You start to see more things. So it's like a curved line here. And then it has these eyelashes, so you can do these curved lines coming off the side. It's so weird. But that's the cool thing of art. You can always do things that are a little bit weird. And yeah, anything goes in art. You can create whatever you'd like. That's why I love art. So the eyelashes there. Okay, so the last step is to do the last clock, and then we'll have some time to color for the background. So the last clock is also silver color, so you can go back to your silver colored pencil, and this one's melted. It looks like it's like wrapping around this creature with in a blanket kind of. So you're going to do a curved line curving around. And then you can connect those curved lines with a straight line going across. And then we see a little bit of the bottom of the clock kind of right behind it. So you can do a curved line, and it looks like it's on the ground. Like I said, a blanket kind of wrapping around the back of the creature and then onto the ground. And again, we want to do it really thick, so you can, you know, do another line running next to it, so a parallel line, and then you can fill it in. Cool. And then again, we have this this button at the top. So this button's like really shiny, so this one you can do a curved line for the button, and then you can do some more lines kind of inside of that to create that like texture of the shiny metal.
Is that a clock?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's another clock. Let me show you guys again so you can see the original. It makes a little more sense. Yeah, so it's that clock. See it right there in the middle? Kind of wrapping around like a blanket. Yeah, and then this clock is kind of upside down from us. So we can, the easiest way to do that, is to, let me switch back here. You can rotate your paper, so turn it upside down. And then you can do your line for your clock, your straight line with your arrow. And we always know that the top middle is going to be the number 12. So I'm going to go back to my dark brown color. You guys can just start to keep adding your colors in here. So 12, and then it goes clockwise to the right. So 1, 2, and we just see a little bit of 3. We don't see any of the others, and then it's going to skip to 10 and 11. So that's what really brings it together, makes it look like that clock. Okay. Right there. Okay, so from here, we have created almost all the different elements, the different subjects in our drawing. And now we can get into coloring the background. So I'm going to do a quick demonstration. If you have chalk pastel, or you can even use the sidewalk chalk that you would use on the ground outside. If not, you can use, you know, whatever materials you have on hand. So colored pencils work fine. But the nice thing about chalk pastel is you can cover a big surface pretty quickly. So let me switch over here. Now chalk pastel does get a little bit messy, but that's fine. You can always wash your hands and wipe the table down after. So the colors that I see, I have some yellow right above the horizon. So kind of this bright yellow. The nice thing is you can work really quickly and then you can blend the colors together. So I see some yellow here. I also have some yellow in the cliffs. And you can use the flat side of your chalk pastel to cover more space. And then we have a really light blue for the sky. So this is obviously based off of the original. So if you wanted to do your own colors, you're always welcome to, you know, create whatever colors. If you want to have some different sunset colors, or, you know, you can do an ocean, whatever you want. Especially with this piece, since it's really like fantasy, like a dream, you can add different things, whatever comes to mind. So it looks like there's this lake or ocean in the back, so I have this blue coming behind the clock and behind the tree. And this is where it really starts to come together, because at first we had all these random lines, but when you start adding color, that's when the landscape starts to form. So the art term for this is, you know, a landscape is something that's real, but this is called a dreamscape. So this is something from your dream. So in the bottom I have like dark brown and light brown, so I'll use my chalk pastel to add that. And before I do that, I can also blend the colors. So right now it looks really rough when you look closely here, but what you can do to make it look really smooth, if you do have chalk pastel, is you just run your finger over it and it will be really soft and kind of blend together. And we'll create this really beautiful soft background for our piece. So this is where we are, you know, we talked about texture. Again, this is back to our texture. So having something that's really soft, like the sky, colors of the sky, the ocean or the lake, the water is really smooth and silky. And then for the ground, it could be, you know, the brown here, you could leave pretty rough. So you could just choose the brown color that you want to use. I'm going to use this, it's like caramel kind of brown, and just put it right on top, and it looks like dirt because you're not going to blend it in. So I'm going to switch over to the image so that you guys can take a closer look at the original, and we'll do about 10 more minutes just adding color to our piece, and then we'll have some time to share.